Hello everyone, this is Prem Sodani coming up with the next round of our quiz session, and in this session we generally discuss some of the very important current affairs in terms of question and answers, right? So we are going to discuss about UN's Convention on Conventional Weapons, then we'll discuss about James Webb Telescope, Rudram Missile, Vihangam, and then finally about the Article 324, right? So let's get started with the question number 1, that is about James Webb Telescope. Consider the following statement. It will be situated near the second Lagrange point of the Earth and Sun system. It will be able to look back over 13.5 billion years to see the first stars and galaxies of the early universe, and the telescope works in the infrared spectrum, right? What are the correct answers, options? So this telescope is going to be launched on 24th of this December. So that's why it is in news. The first thing is it is going to be placed on the point that is second Lagrange point. What is Lagrange point? I am going to discuss that one also. This statement is also true. We would be able to look back to into the past and how these stars and galaxies were formed, and we are going to look back to these 13.5 billion years ago, right? We are going to discuss all these discover all these things. This telescope also works on the infrared wave system, right? So let me discuss here the Lagrange point first. What are the Lagrange points? So there are some points where the gravitational force and between the two celestial bodies would be somewhat balancing each other, right? For example, if I say this one, this is the sun and this is the earth, there would be some points where the gravitational pull of earth and sun would balance each other, right? So here there are 5 points, that is L1 point, this is somewhere here, that is L2 point, and this is somewhere here, that is L3 point, somewhere here, that is L4 and L5. So these are 5 Lagrange points which exist between Sun and Earth system, right? So this is going to be placed at this Lagrange point 2, that is correct option, right? The second thing is why this infrared waves we are using on this Lagrange point or in this telescope, because infrared waves have use wavelengths, right? So they can travel up to the distances and they can cross the distances, star dust and celestial bodies, they can cross these distances, and without being interfered, these can also be read by our telescope, right? So this is the infrared wave. Why we are using infrared wave? This is the reason, okay? So all these 3 statements are correct with regard to this James Webb telescope. So answer would be all 1, 2 and 3 are correct one, right? Coming to the next, this is the Webb telescope which is going to be launched. Coming to the question number 2, that is about the Rudram. Consider the following. It is beyond visual range air-to-air missile. The missile mainly targets communication, radar and surveillance system of the enemy. This is true, second is true, but this is not air-to-air missile. Remember, this Rudram is a air-to-surface missile. It is indigenously designed. This is indigenously designed by DRDO, and this is true. What we are going to do with this Rudram missile, we are going to target the communication and radar and surveillance system of the enemy. That means from this air you are going to attack the surveillance system or the radio frequency system of the enemy, right? So this will definitely going to boost our air defense capabilities. And one more important thing is there, this Rudram missile has the capacity, if once it is locked in on the target, even if you are switching off your radio signals, means if you are switching off your radio signal frequency, still that will be hit very accurately, right? This is the capacity of this Rudram missile. So remember, this is firstly indigenously designed by the DRDO. This is surface to surface missile, and the range of this missile is up to 100 km. Right? So we can target the enemy's defense system, that is communication system, their radar system, their surveillance system from this distance, that is up to 100 km. So this is not true, that is not air to air, this is not true. So the answer would be 2 only is the correct one, right? So this is about the Rudram missile. Coming to the next question, that is Vihangam was sometimes seen in news. Which of the following is correctly describing that Vihangam? So remember this one, this is nothing but it is an internet based system that is integrated with a kind of remotely piloted aircraft system, right? So in the this cold regions, we are using this piloted remote operated vehicle, that is a kind of UAV, kind of drone we are using in order to surveillance, in order to monitor the coal mining. We are using this system. So this would be connected to this computers, and directly you can observe, you can monitor what type of the process is going on, how much mining is going on. So that is related to the coal mining. Remember this one, that is, it is an integrated system that is nothing but a kind of aircraft system which is remotely controlled, right? So this is about Vihangam. Coming to the next question, that is with regards to United Nations Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons, that is CCW. So consider the following statement. The convention was concluded this year and so far it is not signed by any of the UN member. That is not true. I'll discuss here. The convention covers land mines, booby traps and incendiary devices, blinding laser weapons and clearance of explosive remnant of war. This is true because it covers all the conventional methods which are having the indiscriminate effects, right, on the human beings, on the lives of the people. So these are banned, or we can say they are prohibited or restricted. So this second statement is true, means the conventional weapon which are having indiscriminating effect, they are prohibited or restricted. This is true, but this was the convention which was there in 1980s, and around 125 nations are the part of this convention, right? So this is the convention. Remember why it is in news, because we some of the countries are using robots in the warfare tactics. For example, you might have seen some of the movies where robots are taking the decisions in the war matters in the real wartime. These robots are targeting the human beings. So the challenge is, the issue is the ethical issue, means how they are going to differentiate between a child and a terrorist. This is questionable. How they are going to differentiate between a potential terrorist, this is again questionable. And if somebody wants to surrender, so decision making is completely with these robotic machines. So how they are going to differentiate whether this person is going to surrender or they are going to attack them? So because of all these questions, some of the countries wants these robots to be included under this convention, means that is they are also having the potential of this indiscriminate effect would be there, and because of these human right issues, because of these ethical issues, they should be the part of this convention. That is some of the countries are saying. But the major countries which are developing these weapons, for example USA and Russia, are not in favor of this classification of these robots under this convention. That's why it is in news, and recently this convention's meeting was there and this was the issue, so that this question is there. Okay, so let me discuss the next question. That is very easy question. That is Panna Tiger Reserve, which is sometimes in news is always there. So this is in Madhya Pradesh. We have covered this Panna Tiger Reserve. You can go and watch a special video on this Panna Tiger Reserve. So coming to the next question, that is Article 324 of the Constitution is related to which of the following? So this question is more or less a revision question, because yesterday in our quiz we discussed about this article, that is Article 324, and it is related to the Election Commissioner, right? Election Commission of India. So just identify which of the statement is about the Election Commission. So you can see here, that is the superintendence, direction and control of all elections to Parliament, state legislature and the offices of the President and Vice President shall be vested in the Election Commission of India, and this is the answer, right? So this would be the answer, that is one only. So Election Commission, in Election Commissioner we discussed yesterday that this is the part of Article 324, and this cannot be removed. Although this election commissioner, that is CEC, Chief Election Commissioner, is appointed by the president, but he cannot be removed at the pleasure of the president, and there is a very separate mechanism to remove him from the post, and that is mentioned as that is misbehavior and incapacity are the two grounds on which you can remove him, and this should be the procedure should be same as the process of removal of a Supreme Court judge, right? And that process we discussed yesterday also, removal of Supreme Court judge, and that process of Supreme Court judge removal is governed by Judges Inquiry Act of 1968. We discussed this one also. You can go and watch the 18 December's current affair quiz, and we have discussed this elaborately in that quiz section. That is, Judges Inquiry Act governs the process of removal of the judges, and in the same manner this election commissioner, Chief Election Commissioner, will also be removed from the post, and the grounds are mentioned, that is misbehavior and incapacity. So this is about the revision of the, more or less it was the revision question. So this was all about today's quiz. I hope you might have got some of the understanding out of these questions. Thank you very much for watching this one. If you have any doubt, you can comment that down in the comment section. Otherwise, you can also share and like this session. Thank you very much for watching this one.
Current Affairs by ForumIAS is an all-in-one program that covers the dynamic aspect of the syllabus from both prelims and mains perspective. Last year, we have helped more than 100 students crack IAS with our current affairs classes.